Coming up on today's show.
Hey, we're going to rent a legit Formula One car. And guess what else? We got Apple is coming out with a folding sandwich. A folding phone.
I got one. How about
What you
flying
got?
cars? GM making flying cars.
Boy, GM all over the place, aren't they? All right. Well, let's also talk about today probably the Rivian Amazon noisemaker.
Yeah, this should be
about
interesting.
that?
I can't.
Yeah, it should be.
I can't wait to hear
Yeah.
what I have to say. And
Right on. And then what else we got?
the
Keith?
topic of the show, Jay. You titled it. It's yours.
I did. Toyota, where the hell have you been?
There you go, guys. Stay tuned. Coming up right after this.
Living on the edge, pleasure real estate. Looking for a reason in body wanna live. Crying for some more, fight it all again. You are so strong, man, so reach for your freedom.
Hey, everybody, welcome into the podcast, The Counter Show. Welcome into another exciting show today, guys. I got my good friend and podcasting partner, Keith. What's going on, pal? One of these days I'm going to get that right where you're at. There you are. For those
Special
of you
Agent Johnny
on the-
Utah reporting for duty.
Oh, really? What do you got going on there? What's your
This is-
bevy of choice here?
This is that. This is 3 Sport Day. It's the lifestyle
yeah.
pills. Yeah. I
yeah.
have not tried any in the box that you sent me.
What? Who sent what?
Right. I mean, that box that showed up at my front door with alcohol in it. They don't know,
What?
man. It could have been delivery dudes.
It was delivery dudes. It was not me.
Anyway, today the spirit moved me.
Skynet, if you're listening.
Yeah. So
So-
I've not hit any in that pack, but I'm about to.
Well, give me I'm excited. So, where's your finger on your drum roll when you go to taste it?
Oh,
I gotta hear that.
I got one finger on the one hand on the glass and one hand on the can. That sounds
Yeah.
like a country song
So
or
I know
something. I don't know.
Yeah, so I know you. I know you have a wide array of taste when it comes to beers, and I tried to give you that feel for what we have going on in this area.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really kind of all over the place, as you
That's good.
can see.
So am I. It's fitting, right?
Like a squirrel.
Yes.
You're like a squirrel, man. Yes.
Yeah.
Trying to get away from that lovely pet that you have. Does your dog chase squirrels?
Nah, not. He'll bark at him, but thankfully he's not like jumping through the glass, going after him like in Christmas Vacation. Literally, taste all over the place. Had to call Jay, everybody, last week and say, "Hey, I'm drinking a." It was a real smoky beer. I don't remember. It was a calf made by Calf Killer.
Yeah.
What am I okay to drink next? And I had to like phone a friend because I was afraid I was going to get into something that was going to clash, and he picked it out for me.
It was good. It worked, didn't it? It was a palate
did work.
cleanser.
Yes.
It was like
call.
a lemon.
It had
like
lime
a
in it.
lemon lime in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just kind of those are summer beers. I like those during the summer. A little light poolside beer, drinkable all day. Hey, my wife's famous saying, she always says to me, she'll crack one early in the morning on the weekend or something, especially during football season. You know that pigskin thing that they throw back and forth that you
Right.
care for? Rugby, that is. Yeah.
It's the one with all the different white spots and black spots. Oh, no, that's the other football. Sorry.
That's the other football, correct? Yeah, but she always says, "Hey, you can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning." So there you go.
Yeah. Some
So,
days I would.
she's-
This is tasty, man.
Yeah, I thought so.
It's got guys snowboarding and mountain biking and kayaking, and there's a guy looks like parasailing. I mean, this is.
It is representative of where I live. Everything that Keith just mentioned that's on that can, you can do here. And honestly, certain times of the year, you can do all of that in the same day. And as a matter of fact, up in Bellingham, they have a annual Sea to Ski or Ski to Sea festival, and it is quite the. You should be here for that sometime just to check it out.
All right.
You know, they ski and then they come on down the mountain and
I'll go sign up as soon as the show
they
is
trail
over.
ride, and then they do it all.
That sounds like
fun.
me. I'm in.
Oh, heck yeah. And plus, lots of beer around for that. So man, wow. Whew. What a week full of news, or wow, welcome into the news, the counter desk. So I'll go ahead and start this off, bring you into this, but I'm going to let you, well, we can both talk about it. I think it's really cool because we're kids at heart still to this day. I mean, we would not be doing what we are doing if we did not at some point in our life play with Hot Wheels cars, build racetracks, slot cars, etc., get on a motorcycle, anything moving with a motor, or tear something apart and put it back together if it weren't for the love and the curiosity for the feel of going fast and just wow. So you found this story, and I read it, and I'm just like, wow, what an experience of a lifetime that this would be for just an average person with a little extra cash. But you could rent a legit Formula One car, and the line, the headline says, and you can realize just how out of shape you really are.
Right.
I was surprised when I read this article here, man.
All right. So for those of you that don't know, and I gotta say, like, if I'm hesitating to even explain this, but I will, because I know people like my sister listen to this show. So let me Formula One, F1 car. Those are the open cockpit vehicles with the wheels that are exposed. They use a version of that on the IndyCar series. Not quite the same vehicle, but I'm trying to help everybody draw a mental picture here of what an F1 car looks like.
Aerodynamically designed to stay on the ground and out of the air, because if they weren't, they would fly. Period.
Yeah. Yep.
They are pretty awesome.
So, I mean, there are physical demands to your body to be able to control a vehicle at, 100 plus, 200 plus mile an hour. But right. You can take a track day, which I've done track days now, not in F1 cars. This is happening in the UK, in Hertfordshire, England, at Bovingdon Airfield. Bovingdon Airfield. I've been there. I did a TDY there once. Isn't that where the Top Gear guys used to shoot, or no?
They've been out there, man, and they may have shot at our base, the base that I was at as well, which was at Upper Hayford, just between Oxford and Banbury and Bicester. High Wycombe there's a base there where this is close to, so I'm very familiar with the area, and I've been to that track as well as Silverstone and Donington. But I thought it was pretty cool, man. I wish they'd have had this when I was there, because I would have jumped on it. But go ahead, Keith. I'm taking
$1,400, $1,365 starting package. That's converted to US dollars. And that'll get you about 44 training laps. All of this is going to be supervised. I mean, you want that as a guy that's done track days and had good teachers. That's a critical step so that you don't kill yourself or destroy the vehicle. And they go up from there in price. I will say, though, I mean, the article on the Drive says it's pricey. It's actually not bad, Jay.
It's not bad.
The track days that I do on motorcycles, and I bring my own bike, they run $400 sometimes for, you can do a day or a weekend.
Yeah. That's just basically access to the facility.
Yep, you're beating up your own vehicle. Because you got to pay for corner workers, you got to pay for track access, maintenance. They have to have they have to have paramedics or emergency services or ambulance, whatever you want to call it.
It's like running a race on a circuit or something. So they have to put all that stuff out. It's just without the sponsors.
Yep.
Yeah.
The same people that work during race days work it during civilian track day, or whatever. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. I'm going to say this: if somebody would say to me, "Merry Christmas, here's what we got you this year," and I opened up the box and it was this, I would be like, "When do we go?"
Man. You'd be on the internet ordering GoPros, right?
Oh, jeez, man! I tell you, yeah, that would be, and I would definitely take you with me. It would have to be a package deal because I know we'd have a blast.
I'll do the dog like goggles and
yeah. My stepdad, man, he would just absolutely go nutso over something like this. So.
It's awesome, and they're doing what they can, I think, to try to get some funding coming in because they can't sell tickets, right? Right.
That's right. Yeah. It's interesting, man. I mean, I think this is one of the first of its kind that will allow you this. They've modified it enough so the average person can get in it and go do this thing and be safe about it.
Right.
To have that kind of lap time or amount of laps in that for that price, it's unbelievable.
So I'm going to add one topic to this as a side note, just because it's somewhat related and fascinating. Mm-hmm. And this came from Chuck Lynch over at
Chuck
AERA.
Lynch,
yeah. So we were joking last week with Chuck. Thanks, Chuck, for sending this, by the way. Indy Autonomous Challenge car unveiled. So the IndyCar series, which again, it's kind of similar to all you purists out there. I know I'm offending you right now by saying they're the same car. They're similar, all right?
They're not the same, but
they're not the same. There's different rules. I do understand all that.
Technology.
Let's trying to keep it simple here. Yep. So they have a self-driving autonomous race car that they are. It's kind of an R&D project from the way I understood it. Mm-hmm. The primary goal of IAC is to advance technologies that can speed the commercialization of fully autonomous vehicles and advanced driver assistance systems, leading to increased safety and performance. Organizer said, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that's actually true. If you think about, and I know as a motorcycle fan and a fan of a lot of the motorcycle circuits like MotoGP and World Superbike and all that, what they put on those race bikes makes it to the consumer bike. Some of it does 3 or 4 years later, right?
Right.
That's part of how they can justify the massive expense in R&D on the racing side. So what they're thinking here is that they're going to use this to learn and improve safety aspects of your slower traveling vehicles that are consumer vehicles.
Right. It's funny that Chuck brought this to our attention, which, by the way, guys, Chuck is with AERA, Engine Rebuilders Association, Automotive Engine Rebuilders Association, and you can check those guys over at AERA.org. They have a new podcast out, Engine Professional Podcast. Go check those guys out. It's really technical stuff. If you're a machinist or an engine rebuilder or anything like that in the automotive industry, or you just like shop talk, go out there and check them out. It's good stuff, good quality stuff. But where I'm going with this is that Chuck, when we had them on initially, him and Steve from AERA, we talked about a lot of things, how the racing industry incorporates the technology, the engine technology, the safety technology, all of these things from the racing side of our industry and how it translates and gets into the consumer side, like, the everyday person driving a vehicle. It's very important what the racing world does. And if you pay attention, I bet you 3, 4, 5 years down the road, you're going to find some of that technology and you're going to go, oh, wow, Jay and Keith mentioned that on the Parts County Gurus. That's right, I remember that. So pay attention to these things. This is Chuck was very quick to answer. Yes, that is a fact that we see this stuff all the time, and they're more or less the proving ground for us these days. So
I just want to know, and this is a joke, but I'm kind of serious. Mm-hmm. How long until we see automated slot, like real life-size slot car racing, right? I mean, look, they've got an automated car. They've got the track. Give me the remote.
Well, put it to you this way. It's not like you don't already have the concept going, because there are specific rides that are slot driven. I mean, they're slot cars,
Right.
But not that fast. You know, but if I think that they would have a line probably 10 miles long trying to get into something like that. If you were able to strap yourself in knowing that you're not going to come off the track, you could push the envelope as hard as you want to because it's so safe, you're going to be just fine. Would you do it? Pull a few G's? Heck yeah, man. I'd be all over that. You know, it's like the next best thing to you know, in one of those, you know, it's be like flying a jet, man.
Yeah.
It really would. If you get inside of one of those
well,
cockpits,
there are
really
planes
is.
that go slower.
Oh, I saw one the other day. Yeah, but yeah, that's awesome, and thank you, Chuck, for that story. So we want to get It's not like we can't get enough of talking about Apple. I mean, you brought this story up, and I mean, I'm getting just kind of bored with the tech people anyway, just because of some of it's like some of the stuff is like, you know, regurgitated, man. And this is, I mean, Apple is reportedly prototyping a foldable iPhone screens, man. I mean, isn't somebody else doing that like right now?
Okay.
Take a deep breath, Keith. Okay, it's okay, man. It's all right. It's just Apple.
Look,
It's just
I
Apple.
really am trying, back to what, this is becoming our weekly, what the hell's wrong with you, Apple segment.
Right.
Okay, like, again, Apple, being hard on you because I know you're capable of better, you've done better, we expect better. This stuff right here, so the foldable phone thing. So Samsung kind of touted it first, if I'm not mistaken. They had a lot of problems with it. Then Motorola came along with their revamped Razr phone that had a foldable screen.
Right.
And I don't see a lot of those out in the wild. Now, I don't know how sales are going on those. But if this is true, and let's be fair here, you know, this is all rumors at this point, so it could be wrong, and I could be, you know, much ado about nothing here. If Apple is actually spending time on this, I just, what?
I don't
okay, one of the most profitable companies in the world, much less a technology company, and they're going to spend time on this Me Too crap? I mean, really?
Well,
You can't go find the best minds in the world to be innovative and come up with things that aren't already being done?
or have been done before. Like I said, this is regurgitated stuff. Not to say that, I mean, not the actual screens folding, but flip phones, period. I hated them. I mean, I'm just not a.
I mean,
I'm not a big fan of a flip phone or a folding phone anyway.
If it makes your current phone more pocketable, easier to carry in your pocket, then I guess I can see the appeal there.
Man, if I'm Levi's, I'm making pants with cell phone pockets.
Well, see, that's
come
innovative,
on.
Jay. I mean, if Apple were interested in hiring innovation, they would maybe reach out to you.
You get $100
by going
gift
to
certificate.
partscounterguru.com.
Right.
And
hey,
clicking on the Ask Us a Question. I'm just saying, like, that is more innovative, creative thinking, critical thought right there than it seems like we're getting out of it. What is next from Apple? Are we gonna? Oh, I can just see these like creative planning meetings. Hey, I got an idea, guys. Let's make a machine that prints out messages, and you can be at one place and you can send a message, and then the guy at the other end, he can just like print it out. You know, like it would be a facsimile of the actual message. I would not be surprised next week to see him like try that.
Hey man, you know what? I'm really missing my beeper. I'm just saying. I thought the beeper was great. You know why? Because I didn't really physically have to talk to anybody. It just let me know somebody's in, and I could get to it when I could.
You would get the phone number, and then it would be like -911, like I need you to call me now, or you know.
Yeah, or some sort of like upside down. People got invented with upside down.
They'd spell like boobies.
Encrypted messages. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we did on calculators in class.
Right.
Yeah, I don't get it, man. I mean, Apple is, I saw something released. Tim Cook made an announcement recently. I mean, they're moving forward with the Apple Car with Hyundai.
Well, we talked about that. Yeah.
Absolutely. And they're getting deeper and deeper into that. I mean, so for me, making a car, making a folding phone.
Or we could go down the road of creating some new home entertainment venue, since the movie industry's in trouble, and that seems to be a needed area that nobody else is doing right now. And
what is Netflix doing though? You say that Netflix is they're releasing a new movie each week.
But I'm talking on the hardware side. Apple's historically has been a hardware company. They're trying to become more of a services company, but let's partner with the movie industry. They don't call them labels in the movie industry. What do they call them?
Production company.
Yes, thank you. And let's come up with some hardware that allows you to have a home theater experience. You pay for a rental, or go to the movies or whatever you want to do, right?
Right.
And you experience it in an Apple quality kind of environment, right? Where they create the hardware to make it good. Whether that's, a TV screen with wireless surround, connected to it. I don't know, man. But that's the kind of stuff you would expect their creative minds to be working on.
Yeah, I actually dumped a news article in about this. Was at what do they call it? What's the tech show in Vegas that happens every year?
Oh, CES. Yeah.
Right. That just happened.
Consumer Electronics Show. Yes.
Right. That just happened or whatever. And I texted over to you this gadget that they have that basically, speaking to that basically can see the number of people in the room, and they charge accordingly. And the minute that somebody outside of the number of bodies that have already paid comes into the room, then it shuts it down. You have to pay to continue.
Yeah.
So it's kind of I get what they're trying to do there, and it makes sense. I get it, but can you imagine how many ways to cheat that there would be? I mean,
I'm pointing the camera off to the side and getting the cardboard cutouts of like Han Solo and Chewbacca watching the movie.
Dude, can you imagine?
Can you?
Well, not only that. Somebody is going to come up with some sort of mirror that angles it in a certain way. It's. I mean, I get the idea.
Well, first you invent radar, and then you invent the radar detector.
But to pile on to what you were saying with Apple is, why are they not coming up with something like that? That's because they have the ability to come up with something innovative. I mean, that gadget is probably it's a flash.
I'll leave it at this, and I encourage everyone to do your own homework. I really firmly believe that we as consumers have ceased to be Apple's customers. It's now their shareholders, and they're just pandering to that crowd, and all they care about is how much money did what's your profit margin this quarter on iPhone sales. And it's unfortunate, but it certainly looks to be the case. Now, if you guys don't agree with that, if you think I'm right, if you think I'm wrong, if you're watching this video on YouTube, leave us a comment. Tell us what you think. If you're tired of us talking about Apple, all right, tell us, and I'll stop talking about Apple. But we would love to hear from you.
Yeah, I mean, if people are saying that to us, that we need to stop talking about it, then Apple needs to pay attention to us.
If you're working for Apple right now and you're interested in hearing kind of some of our thoughts and suggestions, go to our website at partscounterguru.com. Click on the Ask Us a Question tab at the top, and you can drop us a note. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, wherever fine podcasts are offered up for free, just know that you can also hit that website and leave us a message there.
Just podcast links. Just go ahead. Yeah, just do it. Yeah, that's perfect. So what's next? What do you got? What are you going to do?
You go ahead, man. You're doing such a fine job.
Okay.
Plus, it'll give me time to calm down.
So we talked about this, and I'm going to go with this: the noisemaker. Okay. What'd you say? I hate to say I told you so. Is that what you got?
I got that one. Yeah.
I hate to say I told you so.
Well, because we did talk about this. We talked about it on several podcasts. So Amazon and Rivian, obviously you guys know they partnered and they've got these new all electric delivery vans. And one of the things the biggest problem you have out of vehicles that are all electric is there's no sound. They're very quiet.
Yep.
As a matter of fact, I was sitting outside of the Union Tavern. Hey, Joe. Hey, Rothmeyer. Having a beer on one of the rare sunny days that we had here recently, and there was a Chevy Bolt that came by. I was there's nothing. It's like, wow, God.
All right.
I'm glad I was looking,
I have some, of course, thoughts on this. Now, you've seen the video, right?
I have, yes.
Okay. So we'll post a link to this video. Let me explain a little bit about what. So it is an actual EV. It's one of the Rivian produced Amazon vans. Mm-hmm. Somebody pulled out, a cell phone and got some camera phone footage of it. And it looks basically like they told us it was going to look. Like we talked about on this podcast, on this show.
Yep.
We showed pictures of it. Amazon made the announcement. It pretty much looks identical, I would say, in most every angle that I could tell. But
right.
the part that was interesting about this video is the noise it's making. Now, if you want to, we'll post a link to the video. Go to our website, partscounterguru.com. There's a tab at the top. It's mentioned on the podcast. Click on this episode, which will have Toyota in the title if you're not sure, and then we'll post a link to the video. But apparently there's some regulation that is requiring all of these EVs to produce a noise if they're traveling below a certain speed.
Right.
And so it just makes like a chime. It sounded to me like it was like some sort of. It was like if you have Prime Video and you've ever watched anything from Amazon Studios, like their own movie shop that they make, their production company, I should say. It's that sound, right?
Yes.
And it's bizarre. And here we go with noise pollution. So now I got to put up with this crap in my neighborhood, driving through every day while I'm, trying to record a podcast or be on a Zoom call or a Teams call. And hang on. And would it not seem to you, Jay, that those are more important at higher speeds when you can't stop quickly?
Yes, I would agree with that. And I wondered why they regulated it in that manner. Now, maybe because if you're going a higher speed, obviously you'd be out on a freeway or a highway at a higher speed. Most slow speed activity would be in a city or through neighborhoods or subdivisions and that sort of stuff. But I thought, when I heard it, I thought, God, man, they really, really missed the boat on this, man.
Well,
I would have gone totally George Jetson noise just to make it humorous.
Right.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah, do something cool, man.
Right. I mean, this was annoying.
And I think they don't have a choice. They have to make some sort of audible sound at a certain decibel level. But this is stupid. Like, this is stupid, man. It's gonna be annoying. It's gonna be.
Well, it already is.
We've all had the experience of, like, I've been in hotels on vacation or whatever, and you're trying to sleep in a little bit. And the other noise mandated thing that they did, what was it like? There it is. That's it. That's the sound. Yeah. The other noise mandated thing that they did a couple decades back was the commercial trucks have to do that beep, 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 right?
Right.
Well, there's nothing better than trying to sleep in in your hotel room at 7, 8 a.m. in the morning, and you get beep, beep, beep.
Oh, I hate it.
Beep. And I mean, come on, man. Really? First of all, how fast are those guys backing up?
Right. And if anything, if they put like flashing lights, I mean, they've got them, but just put lights all over the thing to let you know, that's happening. I mean, most people can figure that out.
Well, and this isn't Amazon's fault. They're mandated to do it.
Well, yeah, but I know it, but it's their choice to.
Yeah, I would have played
noise.
something
I mean, to me,
more
it
fun.
sounds like I'm listening to like a spa music station or something, man. Like, they may cause people to fall asleep. I don't know. It's pretty annoying to me, but I don't know. If I were the driver, seriously, man. I mean, are they issuing those guys like ear protection? Headsets to kind of take their mind off of that?
Get a cover of Van Halen, you know? Stop me when I'm passing by, right? Ice cream man.
Ooh, come on, baby. That's right. Yeah. I like that, man.
I mean, why not, right?
Absolutely. I'm with you, dude. I think I like that. I like your idea. I like the way you're thinking there, man.
Again, I would have been a little bit more creative. Amazon's got more money than God. Like, have fun with this. Like,
sure. Absolutely, man. Again, it's I don't know. Maybe it'll change. Maybe they will hear our podcast over on partscounterguru.com, and as they hit the podcast link button, they're thinking to themselves, wow, we should get these guys to produce some sounds for us.
Hey, Jeff, if you're listening to the podcast or you're watching us on YouTube right now,
come on.
We have some ideas. We have some notes, as they say in the business. We would like to speak with you. You can reach us. Go to partscounterguru.com. Click on the Ask Us a Question tab. We'll be glad to respond, set something up. Have your people talk to our people. Hey, maybe you play our podcast out of these vans while it's driving down the road. We'll be some, we'll do something entertaining. I can't tell you what, but it's going to be better than whatever that is coming out of your vans right now.
Right. And again, if you're in Vegas?
Jeff, come on, man.
Yeah. If you're in Vegas, man, and the delivery truck's outside, right? And it's making this noise, and you walk out of... Can you imagine going from like that techno stuff that they play in the casinos, man, and then you come out to that? It would be right. I mean, that's the one thing about Vegas that I do not like is just the constant noise. Drives me crazy. Drives me nuts. I enjoy Vegas, though. Vegas is a cool part. It's really neat, actually. Good food, good times.
Here.
They got...
Go ahead.
Self-driving. They got autonomous
Carry on.
Ubers and Lyfts. Yeah.
Grab the next. I'm going to just... Go ahead.
All right. So, the next one... Let's talk about what just happened over in... yeah, man. Where did I get that? Oh, here it is. No, is this it? Here it is.
What are we doing?
Let's do the highest motorcycle museum. This is sad news. We just got to bring this up because Keith and I both are motorcycle fans, and there are some brands in here that you're familiar with. Maybe there's some brands in here you're not familiar with, but this is...
Hey, if you're just tuning in and you don't know what that's all about, go watch the previous segment on the Amazon van making noise. Yeah, there you go. That's it, and you'll be enlightened. All right.
Absolutely, man.
Carry on.
So we had a terrible thing happen, man, over in Austria. They have a motorcycle museum. It's this thing is let's see. Okay, let me just read this from the top of the story here. Fans of the European motoring history are reeling today after Austria's top mountain Crosspoint Motorcycle Museum suffered a cataclysmic fire on the 18th of January of this year. This museum is nestled at the base of the Austrian side of the Timmelschock Pass, where Austria and Italy meet in the depths of the Alps. The museum was founded in 2016 by twin brothers Alban and Attila Schieber, as a way to show off their collection of classic irons. Sadly, man, there were some really cool motorcycles. I reached out to a good friend of mine who rebuilds Zundaps. There were some Zundaps in there, Sunbeam, Burro Superior, which is kind of, Burro Superior was one of those earlier bikes way back that's just a beautiful piece of machinery, well built. And company was bought by a French company within like the last 5 or so years. And in my previous life, I was actually approached by them along with this other gentleman that used to work with me. and we developed some valve train for that particular the remake of the Burro Superior. So that's kind of close to home, and I know those guys are reeling over that stuff. But man, it's unclear at this point how much damage was done. They said an alarm went off around 4:40 a.m. And by the time firefighters arrived, the building was already engulfed in flames. Firefighters quickly got to work trying to prevent the fire from spreading to a restaurant and other buildings nearby. But so far, local media report that no people were physically hurt by this. There's no information available yet on what started the fire, but they lost a ton of bikes, man. That's sad.
Yeah, I hate to see that. Yeah.
Ooh, they even had a flying Merkel.
Oh.
Man. Yeah. They had some Harleys in there, some Indians in there. They did have some vintage cars, which included some Porsches and some Ferraris. Yeah. Well, that's sad, man. I hate to hear that. But anybody who's a motorcycle buff, go check that story out if you want, and dig into it and go see what they had. But sadly, 2016 is when they started this, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist and everything, but you kind of wonder what happened there.
Yeah.
I mean, is it an older building or
right?
What's
Cash
going on?
Cash flow problems. Yeah. I hope not.
I have no idea. I don't have any info on that, but anyway, sad to see those bikes go away. Is around 230 classic bikes, I think they said. Crazy. Sucks, man. So what you got next?
All right, flying cars, and then on to our main content. All right, flying cars.
Flying cars.
So again, WTH, this time directed at GM.
Yeah.
GM's like, I think they're just live polling the stock market now. It's like, well, let's just announce this, and
we're just gonna we're a stock trading company now. That's what we do.
Like, we didn't say we were actually going to put it in production. We just announced that we were thinking about it, right? So shares. This is CNBC is where I'm looking. Shares of General Motors hit a record high Tuesday after the automaker changed their logo. Oh, no, wait, that's not. It's unveiled an electric driveway van and revealed potential plans to delve into futuristic flying cars. Now, you got to see the pictures of this. It looks like it's something straight out of RoboCop. Yeah, let's see. What details can we get? So the van, the EV600 electric van, is scheduled to go on sale later this year on their commercial side. So
man.
That's
it's
real.
It's strange.
Okay.
Yeah, that's real. This is a strange looking vehicle, man.
The flying car part is designed to hold one passenger and travel roughly 56 mile an hour between rooftops and other urban destinations. I mean, if you're going to try to envision this, if you're driving or you're listening to the podcast, think giant drone, right? With multi-rotors on it.
Yeah, it's an EVTOL is what they call it. EVTOL, electric vertical takeoff and landing.
And rooftop to rooftop, GM has designed models of both autonomous and computer renderings. Okay, so it's just renderings at this point.
Hey,
I can see this.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Hold on. Hold that train of thought. Hey, GM, you should have listened to what we were just talking about. Trying to encourage Amazon to change their music. Maybe you should put the George Jetson sound on this thing. Just saying. Okay, go ahead, Keith. Sorry.
All right. Yeah. So, again, GM, partscountergurus.com. Ask us a question. We'll be glad to respond. I don't know if it's sort of a fishing expedition, but, the fact that stock market investors are willing to bite on something that's a rendering that they haven't even announced plans or R&D, whatever. I mean, maybe it's the electric van, maybe it's not. I can see this being somewhat helpful in an urban environment where you live in the city and in a downtown area. And let's say you need to go a couple miles. Now, all of a sudden, it could take you, 5 minutes or less, and it might normally take you 30 minutes in a busy But then what's that going to do? I mean, you're going to have air traffic control. It's going to have to be regulated.
Dude, I mean, can you imagine? I mean, there would be people falling out of the sky all the time. I mean...
This is I'm going to go out on a limb here and say this is probably. I mean, you don't beat your dog for coming home, right? But this is a bad use of innovation. Like,
Oh, I'm with you.
I just really.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, look, it's a cool thought. Okay, I mean, we are in a time in modern history where the growth of technology is so exponential that some of this stuff is really not far-fetched at all. It could happen, and some of this stuff is already happening. Like, I know that south of me in Oregon, there are the testings of these flying vehicles going on. That is happening. It has happened. But why in the world GM? That's the question.
Because they're making bad deals with Nikola. They got to figure out.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're having a hard enough time trying to seal the deals on a hydrogen fuel cell company, man. I mean, they've got the Hummer, which in my opinion, I thought the Hummer's coming out. It looks like a Hummer. I think this thing is cool. It's all electric. It has all these neat features, with the crab crawl features. We even talked to a couple of our colleagues about, hey, maybe there's some sort of underlying military usage going on. Oh, by the way, yes, well, that's true. So if you think about, I just don't understand how GM can jump from one thing to another and just dive into it. Is this really going to happen? That's the question. But how does it make their stock jump so much? How does that? I mean, I'm not going to go and buy shares in that. Are you?
Apparently, people with more money than sense, as my grandmother.
We're a
used
long way away infrastructurally from having the ability to make something like that even be conceivable to work in our. Don't you think?
Yeah, man. I mean, I just is this like beer drinking Thursdays at the GM Zoom call where we just all spitball ideas, and some guy goes, well, I can have a rendering of that next week, like let's just send it to the shareholders for the what I just seriously don't think I'm too far off.
One of these, Michael Simcoe's vice president of GM Global Design, he said each concept of this reflected the needs and the wants of passengers at a particular moment in time and GM's vision of the future of transportation. This is a special moment for General Motors as we reimagine the future of personal transportation for the next 5 years and beyond. Okay, I get it, but I don't know. I'm not buying any stock.
Yeah, all right. Yeah,
I'll buy stock in an electric battery company.
How about
about that?
How about this?
GM? Electric vehicle battery company. Yes. Yeah, GM, go ahead.
How about you fix your supply issues with things like the Corvette first?
Yeah.
Then
got to get that out.
You work on your flying cars. All right. Moving on before I get too worked up again.
$1.5 trillion is what, by the way, Morgan Stanley expects the autonomous urban aircraft market may be worth $1.5 trillion
and sure,
by 2040.
Okay.
By 2040. That's
all right.
20. It's
and I digress. Fix the Corvette problem first.
It's 19 years, guys.
Then we can get your
you got that
fuel
crystal
cell
ball?
vehicle situation worked out with Nikola. Then we'll talk about flying cars. All right.
You got that crystal ball?
Why?
I just want to know what it's going to look like in 2040.
I'm like that guy in the Wonder Woman movie. I am the crystal ball. You may not get that reference. Anyway.
Right on.
All right.
Right on. So let's roll.
Toyota.
Main topic.
My beloved Toyota. This is might be a segment we might have to file under tough love. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's so much to get into with what's going on behind the scenes with Toyota. How about we start with this, Jay? Mm-hmm. Some news that we can verify. They are killing off the Land Cruiser after this model year. So there will be no 2022 Land Cruiser.
That is correct.
Well, because, Jay, nobody's buying large SUVs here in the United States, right?
No, they are not. They're just not buying those things.
There's not a huge demand for Overland I mean, like, for example, Jay, let's say you go to SEMA, like last year. No Jeeps, Tacomas.
None.
No nothing,
Broncos.
Right?
None of that. Nothing.
None of that, right?
No.
Like, not 75% of the show maybe dedicated to that.
No.
Nah. No market there.
So they kill the Land Cruiser. This is it.
So this is the same thing that they did with my beloved FJ, where they went through a tough patch, and it was due to a recession in 2008, and they hit the panic button, and they stopped production on the FJ because their sales numbers dropped.
Right.
The minute they took that thing off the market, Jeep, all of them, started to skyrocket.
Boom. Yep. The FJ was a catalyst for a lot of these guys going
They just
nuts
weren't patient with it.
No, they weren't.
It's like the first 5 episodes of Seinfeld, right?
Yeah.
NBC was ready to pull the plug on that show. You remember that?
I
Because
do.
it wasn't getting the ratings and they were panicking.
Yep.
Yeah, because, I mean,
And
that's...
then all of a sudden, people go, oh, I like that.
So not only are they going to kill the Land Cruiser, the sister vehicle on the Lexus side is getting... So the V8 that they would typically use in these larger SUVs...
4 liters, right? 4.0 liters? Is that correct? Or is it the... No, wait a minute. Those are those 5...
Yes. Yeah, it's the bigger.
Yeah, those big V8s, yes.
Well, they're going to dumb it down now to a V6, to a smaller one in the same large vehicle. And I can only guess that this is due to them getting complaints over fuel economy. But look, man, I mean...
Meanwhile, Chrysler getting bought up by everybody and cramming these Hemis in everything they can.
Right. Pete, if you're buying that kind of a vehicle, what's the MPG should not even be a question you ask.
Right, man. This is true. I think that somebody is missing... They're missing the... there's got to be more to what we have said all along, that Toyota has to be playing the long game, man.
Okay, but...
They have to be.
And I hope you're right, but if you're anybody as an auto manufacturer, doesn't Toyota, Ford, GM, Jeep, Chrysler, whoever, if you have something else in mind, why, in your right mind, would you discontinue one model and not have something else at the ready to take that slot in the lineup? Because you're giving up sales to the competition.
Right. So here's what's going on with Toyota, and I can tell you the information that I turned up was this, is that the Land Cruiser is definitely dead for 2022. We know that. Will it come back for 2023, 2024? We don't know that yet. What we do know, though, is in 2023, the 4Runner is going to be completely redesigned in 2023. Now, is that going to be giving us all a taste of what we can expect from, say, a new redesigned Land Cruiser? Quite possibly. Now, we've seen Chrysler roll out and reveal the prototype of their new Grand Wagoneer. They just rolled out the new Grand Cherokee L with some new things, some twists to what they're doing, adding a third row. These are larger vehicles. Ford rolled out the Bronco. GM with the Hummer. Of course, it's all electric. So as I was digging and reading a little bit more into this, let's go back and reflect on the last couple of years of what Toyota has done. Okay, so the Toyota 86, we knew what that was, right? It's a Subaru, right? Okay, so hear me out. That's a Subaru. So they partnered up with Subaru, which makes sense. It's not uncommon to see auto manufacturers partner up and trade technologies and do those things, right? We get that. Then Supra. Here's the Supra, guys. Supra. Well, it's a BMW, right? If you take a look at this, if they are playing the long game and they're kind of laying back in the weeds and partnering up with some of these other manufacturers and their technologies, there may be something big coming for Toyota in the next couple of years from a technology standpoint, because the Germans they've got the autonomous stuff figured out. They're leading in the autonomous world. We just recently did a podcast on pedestrian automatic emergency braking, And by far, all of the German-made and European-made and Asian-made vehicles did so much better than, well, the Hyundai didn't, but the Nissan did well, and we know the Audi did well. There's another one in there, but the Ford didn't do very well at all. And I think the Kia was not a slam dunk.
Everybody's getting out of sedan sales. Ford is pulling out. GM is pulling out. They're all making fewer and fewer passenger cars. They're moving to crossovers. Nobody's buying passenger cars. Now, I do understand that the 86 and the Supra are both sportier cars, but why, if you're a Toyota, do you go for two of those kinds of models? Now, I understand they're at different price points and all that, and you completely get out of the large footprint SUV. Now, don't even start with the 4Runner thing. That's a great vehicle. It is not nowhere near as big as the Land Cruiser.
Right.
Nowhere near as big.
Could it upsize though?
Oh my God!
Redesign.
I'm going to have an aneurysm if that's the plan. That is just beyond dumb.
Yeah.
So, what? I mean, I know they've got the Sequoia, but this is a 60-year-ish tradition that Toyota's done with the Land Cruiser. It has a huge following. It's a really, really bulletproof vehicle. It is just an amazing. It's older in terms of the components that it's using. Nobody cares. It's a solid vehicle.
When you think of the Land Cruiser, Keith, and I'm talking like visually, what do you visualize when you see the Land Cruiser? The first thing that pops to my mind is the old versions, right?
Yeah. Going camping, going off-roading.
Like a power wagon.
Like a real off-road vehicle. Yeah.
Right, absolutely. So maybe Toyota has stepped back and said, let's make the all-new redesigned. Let's have the Sequoia. Let's have that from an elegance and a luxury standpoint. Let's upgrade the 4Runner a little bit, but let's bring the Land Cruiser back, and let's do what Ford did. Like Ford, it was bringing the Bronco back. Everybody said it's got to look like the old Bronco. It's got to do this. Are they potentially planning a rebirth of the, like a retro version of that?
But you don't pull one model off the sales sheet before you have something ready to take its place.
Yeah.
That is suicide.
Yeah. Well, they've got a number of new, a number of new vehicles that are coming.
You're not convincing me here, Jay.
But it's not anything equivalent to what they're pulling. That's the thing. They don't have anything to replace that.
Right.
They pulled the FJ. They didn't have really anything to replace that as well.
Right.
Okay. So those are two models that they have pulled over the years that, from an Overland crowd standpoint, they have totally missed the train. Totally missed the train. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. It's like they just don't even care. But see, Jay, they spend a ton of money to be at these events like SEMA. They are one of the premier press releases given during the past few. And they made a big push this year also, virtually. That has to cost them. They're there. How can you be there, not look around in the hall? I mean, is your head just completely in the sand?
Right, and we've said that on a number of levels. Like, why is it that they're the only ones that do not have a true EV out there?
And if you want to go, okay, so now let's get into that. But before we do, I want to say one more thing before I'm done. Taking swings. If you want to make the argument to be that your sales numbers are dropping on the Land Cruiser or the FJ or any of these SUVs, figure out why. Don't just pull the plug on the whole platform. Why is Jeep putting Hemis and anything you can literally ask them to? Right. Why is Jeep come up with in the past 5 years like 4 different new body styles on the Jeep platform?
Right.
Why is Ford coming out with 2 different Bronco models if nobody's buying SUVs? You're doing something wrong, and you need to figure it out and not just pull the plug on, we lost some sales this year, so let's cancel the whole program. That just...
Right. they have really put their eggs in one basket over the last 10 years, which is their hybrid.
So,
their hybrid
do you think they're just going all in on that? And if so, remember, this is a company known for their four-wheel drive vehicles historically.
Right. But we both know that electric, all EV off-road vehicles are making a strong presence right now.
So,
and maybe are they paying attention, and are they going to bring it back as an EV? We don't know that yet. But that could be. But we have said that they, what are they doing? What are they doing? Maybe they're playing the long game, and maybe they are. But
we think they're going Gen 3 or something in terms of an EV. They're not going to jump into the Tesla competitive pool. They're going to wait for.
I've got some information on the
Let's
EV.
have it. All right, let's go.
Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Okay. So the new pure electric Toyota BZ SUV. It's an SUV. It's like a RAV4 type vehicle. And it is within a partnership with Subaru. Again, what I said, they're partnering with companies for technology.
Are they going to become the Craftsman or the Kenmore of the car industry?
You just never know, man. I mean,
like
but
they're just going to rebrand everybody
yeah.
else's.
Yeah, but they're developing its first fully electric car, and again, it's going to be called the Toyota BZ. Which stands for Beyond Zero. And that's going to be a platform for them. They say there's tons of vehicles coming in the BZ platform, okay? Now, they also have, don't know if you're aware of this, I'm sure you are, but I didn't know that it was sold here in the U.S. because I haven't paid that much attention to it, but the Mirai, which is their fuel cell vehicle, okay? So they put this thing out.
I've walked through the living room when there's been videos playing on it. Yes,
right. It's been in the U.S., but then my curiosity is like, okay, so where do you go fill this thing up at? So I pulled up hydrogen fuel stations.
California.
There's virtually none in the U.S. They're all in California.
Honda did the same thing. They established a test market footprint, and they chose California. I think they get some breaks to do it that way because California is much friendlier to those new kind of prototype type fuel platforms.
Right.
Yeah.
So there you go. Finally, an all electric. And I think it's coming to Europe first. Europe tends to get a lot of this technology first, a lot of these type vehicles first. But then, so I ran across this as well. This, again, call me for being oblivious to this going on. But are you aware of the e-Tinga lineup, the E-T-N-G-A product lineup? So Toyota is now revealing more about its new e-Tinga platform. The company has just announced production preparations for a new SUV model with a purely electric drive based on the new platform. It combines variable with non-variable key components and thus offers high flexibility in terms of vehicle width, length, wheelbase, height, front, rear, and all-wheel drive. It's a Toyota global architecture that they're rolling out.
All right. So at this point, though, I'm sticking to my guns. It is a stupid move to kill off any existing product lines until you have this thing almost production ready. This is the equivalent almost to GM saying we're going to make a flying car. Great. You have an idea. Right. How long is it going to take to get that idea into production?
Right. And unless the reason why they've been so quiet and we've been hearing crickets is because that's what that's where they're putting all their interest in.
So here's let's end it with this. I'm gonna hopefully this will turn into an I told you so.
I hate to say I told you so.
Toyota, if you guys do not have some plan revealed in the next, I'm going to be gracious here, 6 months, you're just going to continue to lose market share. You better have a big unveiling that's pretty awesome, very competitive, and it needs to not be a rival to something that's already out there, like a Tesla, like a Model X or a Model Y. It needs to be beyond that. It needs to be better because solid state cells that are faster charging, whatever it is, you better get there quickly. You've got 6 months. The clock's ticking. Go.
Right. I'm thinking that they took heed from, and I'll give you a quote real quick, from Sheikh Ahmed Zaki Yamani from 2000. He says, the Stone Age did not end because the world ran out of stones, and the oil age will not end because we run out of oil. 30 years from now, there will be a huge amount of oil and no buyers. Oil will be left in the ground. So I wonder if Toyota is listening to that, and that's where they're going. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
All right, Jay, get us out of here before my head explodes.
Hey, everybody, look, thank you for watching today. If you're watching, you can check us out over on youtube.com/Parts Counter Gurus. While you're there, smash that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up and ring that bell so you are notified when these videos come out. If you are a audio podcast fan only, we love you too. Please go to partscounterguru.com, sign up, go to the podcast links, man. Go to any platform you want. We are out there on every single platform that you could possibly think of. Follow us on social media. We're on facebook.com/Parts Counter Gurus. We're on Instagram at The Parts Counter Gurus. We're also on Twitter where our handle is at The Counter Show. Wow, man. And if you just want to shop for anything, we've got a nice little icon up at the top right-hand side. Go through Amazon, go there. Anything like that helps us out tremendously. We don't know what you're buying. We are an Amazon associate. If you buy through our website, we just get a little love. It helps us keep the show going. And if you are already subscribed and you are already doing all these things, thank you so much. And we want more people to come on board. So please tell a friend, like us, share us, do everything you can, get the word out.
Thanks, Jay. All right, so
That's all I got.
I'm gonna leave with this. Now, you know, I'm a huge. I think we all are big Betty White fans who recently turned 99.
Oh, absolutely, she's amazing.
Recently turned 99. Did you know this?
I did.
All right, so I was digging for some Betty White quotes because I thought, you know, pay homage to Betty. Okay, I'm going to leave you with this. Betty White was asked a while back how she stays healthy. This is what she said. She said, "I'm a huge health nut. My favorite food is hot dogs with French fries. And my exercise, I have a 2-story house and a very bad memory, so I'm up and down those stairs a lot."
That's awesome, man.
I just feel like she's our kind of people, man.
God bless you, Betty White. I love her, man. She's awesome.
Yeah.
She is relevant. She is funny.
Yep.
God bless her. Happy birthday, Betty.
Thank you. So, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Just like Jay said, we appreciate all the likes and comments very much. Until next time, that is Jay over there. I'm Keith. We'll talk to you soon.
Later, guys.